Today, we will talk about U.S. Navy Viz-China clash, challenges, and hurdles U.S. facing. U.S. threats China. In a fight over the self-governing island nation, both China and the U.S. would suffer significant losses. Before we got into our today's video, subscribe to get the latest updates. Here we go. The South China Sea, a huge body of water that separates China's southeast coast from the western Pacific Ocean, has recently been the epicenter of military conflict and geopolitical competition. The United States of America and China are involved in this complex and potentially divisive subject because of its importance to American foreign policy and military capability. The United States Navy plays a significant role in the area. In this video, the issues and challenges facing the U.S. Navy in the South China Sea are discussed. These include territorial disputes, the management of notarization alliances, freedom of navigation, the intricacies of diplomatic involvement, territorial conflicts, and China's assertiveness. Many nations are embroiled in territorial disputes in the South China Sea, with China maintaining broad claims to the entire region. This robust approach calls into question the established principles of international law. This makes it difficult for the U.S. Navy to navigate the complex web of conflicting claims and national interests, militarization, and the potential for errors in judgment. In the South China Sea, both China's and America's military postures have considerably increased. The deployment of contemporary military hardware, including battleships, aircraft carriers, and missiles, has raised the stakes in the region. Militarization raises the risk of errors in judgment and unforeseen events, but it also raises the possibility that a disagreement could worsen and turn into a full-scale conflict in an attempt to avert unintended consequences. The U.S. Navy must strike a balance between upholding allies and common interests in order to handle this situation with caution and sophistication. There are a number of allies and partners in the area where the U.S. Navy operates, including the Philippines, South Korea, Japan, and nations with intricate relationships to China. Striking a balance between U.S. interests and those of regional allies can be difficult, because conflicting aims and objectives could surface. The U.S. Navy has to deal with these difficult problems, remembering that standing by international law and defending freedom of navigation might not always be as easy as siding with allies. Among the most important aspects of the United States Navy's presence in the South China Sea is the fact that it is actively involved in preserving the freedom of navigation and defending international law. However, if freedom of navigation operations are carried out in close proximity to disputed land, it is possible that the Chinese government will take action. The United States Navy must employ strategic dexterity in order to avoid unintentional escalation in war, in order to strike the appropriate balance between maintaining international law and refraining from avoidable provocations, in order to prevent unnecessarily worsening the situation and triggering confrontation in the region, where tensions and military posture are currently at an all-time high. The United States Navy needs to show caution and moderation. This is necessary in order to stop the situation from becoming even more unstable. A single error in judgment or incident has the potential to rapidly spin out of control and evolve into a conflict on a much larger scale. This is because of the potential for the situation to worsen. The topic of how to govern operational actions in a manner that shows resolution without significantly increasing the risk of hostilities is one of the challenges that needs to be addressed. This is one of the challenges that needs to be approached. There have been many decades that have passed since China began its plan of military modernization, and the country has made considerable investments in the development of cutting-edge military capabilities, particularly in the marine sector. These investments have been made in the past. As a consequence of this, the Chinese Navy has undergone a quick process of modernization and expansion, and as a result, it currently owns the largest fleet of warships in the entire world. It is primarily dependent on the construction of assets that are capable of limiting access to specific areas and preventing access to certain areas that China's military strategy in the South China Sea environment is dependent on. Because of the usage of these follies, the following result occurred. The United States Navy and other foreign military will have a more difficult time carrying out operations in the region thanks to the increased difficulty. This category includes anti-ship cruise missiles that have a long range and are designed to destroy ships. China has produced a lot of anti-ship cruise missiles with a great range, which are capable of posing a threat to United States warships that are operating in the South China Sea. These missiles are capable of operating in those waters. These missiles are capable of attacking a variety of high-value targets, including the United States of America, carrier strike groups, and other entities of significant importance. Additionally, China has deployed bags that are able to engage aircraft belonging to the United States, including bombers and fighters. These bags have the capability to engage aircraft. Are you still there? Perfect. Give a thumbs up to show your presence. We appreciate that. It has been asserted that these sacks have the ability to answer the Hamsun challenge. During the course of the development of its ability to engage in combat underwater, the Chinese government has made significant investments. These efforts include the simultaneous development of torpedoes and submarines at the same time. With these capabilities, the United States submarines that are now operating in the South China Sea might potentially face a severe danger. These submarines are currently operating in the region. Furthermore, China has built a network of artificial islands on reefs in the Spratly Islands, which are the subject of contentious disputes. These islands are located in Chinese territorial waters. The Spratly Islands are home to some reefs located in the region. Therefore, in order to give the impression that these outposts are military stations or sites, the construction of various installations, including airstrips, radar facilities, and missile systems, has taken place. These capabilities not only improve China's ability to project power throughout the region, but they also give China a forward presence in the South China Sea. This is a significant advantage for China. The utilization of these qualities is what allows for the accomplishment of this goal. A substantial obstacle is presented to the United States Navy in the form of China's expanding military strength and its capabilities in the realm of anti-aircraft defense. This presents a tremendous challenge for the United States Navy in the context of conducting business in an environment that is becoming increasingly heated. This confronts the United States Navy with a substantial problem that needs to be addressed. Revisions are required to be made to both the strategy and the tactics that are being utilized by the United States Navy to add insult to injury. In order for it to continue to have a technological advantage over China, it is absolutely necessary for it to continue investing in the modernization of its own capabilities. For the United States Navy to continue to invest in the development of new technologies, it is necessary for the Navy to continue to maintain its technological advantage over China, domestic politics, and the opinions of the general public. In order for the Navy to continue to preserve its technological dominance, this is a vital consideration. Both the United States of America and China's approaches to the South China Sea are strongly influenced by domestic political considerations, as well as public opinion throughout the area. This is the case for both countries. This provides an explanation for why the two countries have proceeded in such a radically different manner. It is probable that the pressures that come from the domestic constituencies of both countries will act as a factor in determining whether or not they are prepared to compromise, participate in diplomatic endeavors, or adopt policies that are more assertive. In terms of successfully navigating these intricate internal dynamics, rivalry in geopolitical affairs, and other regional dynamics, it is essential to have a strong sense of regional dynamics. It is absolutely necessary to have a complete comprehension of the perspectives held by the general population, as well as the political realities in both countries. As a result of the presence of a number of competing alliances and interests that are in direct contradiction to one another, the geopolitical landscape of the South China Sea is made more complicated. This is done in order to avoid unnecessarily raising tensions in the region or associating itself with one group against another. In light of the fact that we are currently nearing the conclusion of this inquiry into the complexities of the South China Sea, the organization has taken this precaution. In order to effectively handle these dynamics, the United States Navy needs to exercise an extraordinary amount of caution. What do you think about this video? Let us know if you have any question in your mind. Share this video and have a great day.